On this video, we want to focus on the cloning tools, and it may, in fact, take a couple of videos because there are a handful of tools and to look at. So let's get started. The first one is the cloning stamp tool. Had this one for a long time, and actually it also has a pattern stamp variation. But we're going to focus for the moment certainly on just the standard cloning stamp tool. And of course, pick the tool, and this is what I call two-step process. You have to option click the tool generally where you think you want to pull some information from, and then you let go and you go to where you want to put the information and start pressing your mouse. Now, and it's very important to notice that there's a relationship of where the tool is cloning from and where it's cloning the information to. And that relationship, notice, stays the same. So it's always pulling, in this case, from the bottom little crosshair. And it's that simple. Now, quite often, for a couple of different reasons, which we'll talk about, we may want to do a new option click, go someplace, and then start cloning that area. Okay. And also, we generally want to set the size of the brush, and so that you can see the size of the brush. And to do that, we have to make a change in the Photoshop preferences. It defaults now in a way that I honestly don't think makes a lot of sense. But you go here to Photoshop Preferences, Cursors, and for your brushes, all of your brushes, you generally want to see the full brush size. And so this is really the preference that I would suggest you want instead of the standard. And so I'm going to say OK. And now notice that whatever size brush I pick, I see it on the screen in true size. And that really does make a lot more sense. So not only do we want to pick the brush size, but we also generally, for cloning, you want to generally use a soft or feathered edge, and that means no hardness. A solid crisp edge would be 100% hardness, and so you want it low or very low, or simply pick one of these existing brushes that already has some feathering in it, and then you can always adjust the size of the brush. Okay, so it's really up to you in terms of what you choose here. But at any rate, once again, we want to then option click, go to where we want to put the new information and place it. Now I'm going to switch to the dune photograph real quick, and I want to show you a couple of things that you want to be careful of, and for two reasons. One is to keep from having repetitious patterns, and just to give some variety. We often will option click in a new area on our image so that we can keep it looking more natural. This is something that sometimes happens. I'll exaggerate it. We sometimes will mistakenly clone an area and then clone over that area and keep doing that, and you can very easily see that what happens is you get a repetition of the same texture or imagery, and if anybody looks at it, they're going to see that that doesn't look natural and real, and has obviously been edited. So here again, the people that do this really work to try to create some really smooth transitions that will avoid anything that has the appearance of being modified. So you just by working it and really paying attention to what you're doing can create effects that in fact feel very natural, and then you're really able to use the tool effectively. So always keep those things in mind when using the basic cloning tool or any of the other cloning tools as well. So there you have it. Real quickly, the cloning the pattern stamp tool, the way that works is you have to, when you pick this tool, notice we're going to get some changes up here in our options bar. And when I pick the pattern stamp tool, it gives me this up here, which is a group of pre-existing patterns. And so when I pick one of those, in fact, and then use the tool, what I get is in fact that pattern dropping down, repeating on my canvas. And they can be used sometimes for web pages and things of that nature. You can also very easily create your own patterns. You use the selection tool, the rectangular selection tool. You hold the shift key because your selection must be in a square. It must be a square. It can't be a circle or the lasso tool. It must be a square, any size that you want, and then you make that selection, and then you go edit, define as a pattern. And when we do that, we can give it a name or just say OK. And now when I go back to the patterns and I pick the pattern stamp tool, you will see that in fact one of our patterns now is literally the little piece of dune that I created right there, and it becomes a pattern of its own. And we can now pick that and literally paint that as a pattern on any background, and you see how it does that. And so we can use either one of the predefined patterns, or we can create our own pattern. And again, it needs to be a square area with the marquee tool, and then go up under edit to define pattern, and you will have it automatically saved in that palette, and then you can utilize it.